What's up, everybody? Welcome to Mongols. It is 7 on Sunday. That means that we are live. The Hounds got a massive 3 points in Loudoun this weekend. Let's talk all about it. I am Mike Sparks. Joining me is Steve Mattias, Josh Brokaw, and our special guest host, Mr. Robbie Mertz. Robbie, I know that you picked up a knock. How are you feeling, my friend?
Feeling good. It was be back on the roster yesterday down in DC, and it was kind of a long road to cover during preseason, so really good to be back.
Yeah, you did get some minutes. You feeling good after that?
Yeah, feeling good. It's been progressing well, I think, in the last few weeks. Obviously, I didn't get any minutes in preseason. Just having so yeah. I'm not really one who deals well with injuries. I'm not super accustomed to them, so 6 weeks really is not that long, but for me, it felt like a long time.
For sure. Steve, I know you lost power for a little bit this past week. How are you dealing?
Don't.
You have power now, right?
I have power now,
Okay,
but
right.
It fried my power supply and motherboard of my computer. So that ended up, So that was like all of today, this morning, trying to figure that out and realizing I'm not salvaging this. So I bought a new computer today so that I can actually do things I need to do, and I'll sell parts from the other one. So yeah, thanks, Duquesne Light.
Ugh. Josh, did you guys lose power at all?
Oh yeah, we lost power. We actually were in the middle of about ready to make dinner. Power went out. We're like, oh, all right, well, let's just go get some dinner somewhere else. And we were sitting at a Chinese restaurant in Westview. And as soon as we got our appetizers, the power went out there. And we're just like sitting there in the dark. And they're like, we have a gas stove. It'll still come out. It's like, all right. So we kind of just sat and ate in the dark with our phones as like lights. And then their power came back on and it was fine. But it was really funny.
Robbie, did you guys lose power at all?
I think it was off and on, but we were down in Loudoun already. So I was just FaceTiming my wife. She said it was in and out, but nothing major.
Good. I remember with a young one, we had a period where we lost power, and it was like trying to keep the baby warm was like this frantic thing. But we're kind of through that stages, but I know you guys are going through that now. So yeah, good times. Well, guys, I know there's a lot we want to talk about. We obviously don't want to waste Robbie's time as well. Josh, you're holding up the victory beverage. Go ahead. Just crack it.
You crack it. You crack the victory beverage. First one.
There you go.
I went water with him, Mike. There you go.
Okay, good.
Cheers.
Perfect. Cheers, everybody. Let's get things started with a hey sir, and then we'll dive into the game from there.
And now, hey sir, 1 minute reactions with Laura Ellen.
Okay, so to be fair, this isn't right after the game. We watched the first half, and I wasn't super impressed, I'll be honest. Again, I said this last week, but I think you can tell that kind of Lily is in the back of a lot of these players' minds, and they haven't quite figured out how to play this new system that Rob wants them to play. Okay, so we watched the first half. It's 1-1. Okay, fine. Then we left. We had a party to go to. We went to the party, and my phone starts blowing up, and okay, we score a goal. Okay, we score another goal. Now it's 3-1. Also, I was like, okay, great. They figured it out in the second half. And then Alden scores a goal. I'm like, okay, where's this mental fortitude that I had been hoping that you think the defending USL champions would have? Where's this mental fortitude to get the game out? Anyway, okay, this is a little longer, but I don't know. I hopefully the guys on the show and the people on the show can explain it to me, because I'm like, what did I miss?
This has been Hey Sir, 1 minute reactions with Laura Ellen.
To be fair, Laura Ellen is probably screaming into a pillow right now because she had no idea that Robbie was going to be here.
Laura Ellen is always her brutally honest self in Hey Sir. That might be her most honest Hey Sir of all time.
Is that right?
Robbie, do you have a reaction to that? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think it's a bit harsh, honestly. Game 2, of a new season, some new faces, and I think there's definitely growing pains. It is a new, the end of last season was largely a continuation. There wasn't a whole lot of major change that was made in the run in there. So any changes that I think are going to be made are like happening kind of now through preseason and into the season here. And it's a game too. So I think, when you talk about fortitude, I thought there was some fortitude shown yesterday because we gave up the first goal and we managed to win the game.
So, Robbie, do you know how long it's been since the Hounds have come back after conceding first?
I would imagine it's been a very long time. I also, that's just based on my own feeling. And I would also say it feels like it's been a long time since we won a game 3-2. So maybe we can get a stat check on that one too.
The second one I don't know, and the first one I didn't fact check, but the broadcast when I was going back through said 25th game since. So early last season. So yeah.
Well, in stats wise, you guys only had one game last season that you got two or more than 2 goals. So you got 3 goals, and that was I think Rob's first game in charge. So good signs, guys. Typically, this is the section where we just kind of throw out some takeaways and everyone kind of shares their thoughts on the games. We'll start off just by saying, obviously, you guys did get the win 3-2, which is fantastic. There was a pen from Chico. There was a goal from Sample, which his reaction time on that was insane. And then a great little build-up play where Bassett got the 3rd goal. Robbie, give us a takeaway. You watched a decent portion of this from the bench, and then you got some minutes. How did you feel after this one was over?
Yeah, I don't think anyone on our squad is under the impression that was like our best performance or will be our best performance of the year by any means. But it's always a difficult thing to get the first 3 points of the year. It doesn't matter if it's the first game or the 8th game. It's a big deal to get the first one of the season with a new team. So I think that's first and foremost. I think we're playing some good football, and there are moments where it's really good. So I think when it's good, it's really good. But right now, we've been a little bit error prone in the first couple games as well. And we need to tighten some of those things up. And I think everybody recognizes that. So, ultimately, I think it was a good performance. And that 3rd goal, I think, was a culmination of us really wearing them down over the course of the 90 minutes. And when we're having more of the ball and we're creating more of the chances, we're hoping that that's what's going to happen more often, is that we're in the ascendancy in games later on. And I think that also is what kind of carried us through the playoffs last year. Even though a lot of them were 0-0 draws, we were the ones that were really the protagonists late in games. So the 3rd goal was brilliant. Just an awesome team goal. We were like applauding it in the corner before, right before I went in. So it was, I think ultimately a good win. We were pleased to go on the road and get 3 points.
Let's keep talking about the goals. So in reality, we got 3. I counted, there could have been 5 or 6, right? Like there were, Walty was in all alone on the keeper at one point off of a great play. Barnes had the offside goal, which felt close. Chico hit the post. Robbie, you see these guys in practice on the daily. Is this what we should expect this season? Like in your mind?
I don't want to, I think Loudoun also is going through some growing pains, to be honest with you. New coach, definitely lost some good players. They have some new faces, some injuries as well. So I would just say I'm not sure that they're going to be the most stout defense just within that particular game. I don't know how the rest of the year is going to go for them, but that we'll face. So I think, in terms of chance creation, it's good that we did that, and we were close to capitalizing on a few. In fact, I think that offside goal was a good goal, and it was actually another fantastic play. So good signs there, and I don't necessarily think we're going to be playing like the most. We're going to go from where we've been to playing like the most free-flowing, fluid football we've ever seen. But like I said, I think we're trying to assert ourselves in the game more, play it on our terms. And, even in periods of the Charleston game, we saw that. And then I think we saw that for the majority of the day yesterday, despite some of the mistakes that we might have made.
Steve, you made the trip down there with the Steel Army. Talk us through it. Any tales from the road?
I mean, a great group of traveling fans. The Steel Army had a van that was packed to the gills. I drove down with a couple other guys. And when the van pulled in, it's like opened up and it's like stuff is like falling out of the door. It would just look like it was packed, and then people kept coming out. So I was like, I don't think that van's big enough for that many people, but apparently it was. But no, I mean, I think you guys could see on the broadcast that we had a pretty good group down there. And I mean, Jordan was there, leading chants. Colin led a couple of them as well, which was really great. We got together and supported the players with some signs during that first minute. So that was really great to be able to like do that. And I was pleased that like I could hear us when I went back and listened to the highlights, that knowing what we said, I could say, yeah, that's what we were saying. So that's kind of, I think, great, but a fun time as well. I think like everybody was glad to be there. I mean, it was like 52 degrees and sunny. So a perfect day for an afternoon game. And everybody was just having a blast. So I think Loudoun is one of those trips where it's like, it's really easy to have fun because it's really easy to knock Loudoun's facilities and feel really great about our facilities and our fan support and whatnot. So it just kind of like everybody's kind of like making fun of Loudoun the whole time. And you're just like sitting there. I'm like, yep, like I see why you're making fun of them.
Robbie, from a player perspective, do you guys look forward to going and playing in Loudoun just from like the facility standpoint? Like where does that, or is it just something you don't even think about?
We think about it.
Message received. Thank you, sir.
One other thing I'll say, I am fairly confident, like just because of their location, Loudoun probably doesn't get a lot of other supporters groups traveling. But the one section that they always have us in, I mean, every fifth seat had a Hounds or Steel Army sticker on it. So, and they were not, most of them were not from yesterday. They've been there for a long time.
So you guys have left your mark.
Yeah.
Someone has. It's hard telling who. I mean, it could be anyone, honestly.
Yeah.
No,
Detroit really travels and does it.
It was really funny watching the broadcast because I don't know if they do this on purpose, but it looked like they had like the Steel Army and then nobody for like sections upon sections, and everyone was over on the other side or on the other side of the stadium. So it did look like there was a wide berth given to the Steel Army, given to the away supporters, except for like 5 kids that were in the front at the bottom of the section yelling at you guys, which hearing about that was pretty funny as well. Yeah. But yeah, it is a fun game to watch.
Yeah. One stat that I kind of harped on last season, and I got called out for it multiple times, was the possession stat, where Robbie, you guys seemed to struggle anytime you got to 50% or more. Now that changed later in the season, which is fine. And I think possession is one of those stats that it depends more on what you're actually doing with it. Possession for possession's sake doesn't mean anything. But we had Coach Adam on, and we were talking to him about sort of all the new stats and tracking and things that are going on. How much, you were on the bench for a bit yesterday. How much are they tracking that stuff in real time during the game versus do you guys just talk about it afterwards? Like, how has that impacted the approach to what you guys are hearing from the coaches compared to last season?
Yeah, I think they probably use it to inform what they're saying to us at halftime in that messaging, and potentially at full time as well. But for the most part, like in game, like players are not necessarily aware of what the statistics look like, and that's something that we'll cover on like a Monday or Tuesday following the game, wherever the stat is relevant. I think one that was brought up ahead of this game, which wasn't necessarily specific to our team, is more about the league as a whole, is like the average number of points that a team earns when they keep a clean sheet, and then the average number of points the team earns when they score the first goal. And that number in our league is pretty high. It's like 2+ points per game if you keep a clean sheet or if you score the first goal. And we managed to do neither of those yesterday, which I think, again, points to, going back to the word fortitude that was used, I think it was a little bit of fortitude on our part, and it, showed some character within the group to not have those things go our way, because those are things that we really do look to identify, and we've kept a lot of clean sheets in recent years, and that's something we want to continue to try to do. We haven't done it in the first 2 games, but again, to come out with 3 points, even in the face of adversity, again, that's things that you want out of your group. So you address the problems and the mistakes afterward, but you come out of the game saying, hey, that was a strong performance, in the sense that we were able to bear down and get the result, despite in some ways not having our best stuff on the day.
Makes sense. I got to ask you, in terms of tracking, do you have to wear one of those like bras now whenever you guys play?
Yeah.
Is that uncomfortable at all?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting for me because, like, some guys are coming out of college, like they've done it recently. It's been quite a while for me, so I was happy to have it free and easy to under the jersey, but we're back with the catapult, and no, you don't think about it a lot. I guess it's probably easier in February and March, and we'll see. Maybe ask me again in like July when it's 95 degrees. Might wish that it wasn't on, but yeah, it's a good thing to be able to keep track of those metrics and understand where you are, and there's ways that you can apply it to your performance as well. So it's definitely a good thing.
For sure. Josh, give me a takeaway from this one.
Yeah, Laura Ellen mentioned a little bit, but like just like mistakes and that kind of stuff. But it does feel like the tactics is working and the idea is sound, and now it's just like little things that just need to be shortened up. Like I think Vector had a couple of mistakes there, and like it's weird to have the Hounds. The worry I have is the back of the field, not the front. I'm so used to being like, oh man, where are these goals going to come from? Or like, we need to do something about that. And it's like, no, now the worry is the other side of the field, but it's not even like, I'm not concerned. Like, it feels like it's there, and like the total defense idea is still alive and well. It's just shoring up those mistakes, and that's a good problem, I feel like, as far as what problems could be going on right now. At least this one feels very manageable, and like it's going to iron itself out. So I don't know. I was very encouraged. I will say, like, right after the game, I forget who said, I think it was Dan in the Steel Army Discord. He talked about, like goals against and that kind of stuff, and like, kind of concerning, blah, blah. But it's like, as long as we're scoring more goals than we're getting scored on, I'm not as concerned. I think I used the word, I'm happy to score, as long as the score is higher on our end. I wouldn't say I'm happy, but I'm definitely thinking that, it is interesting that we're seeing all these goals now. And it's how are people feeling about the, like, if we do get scored on, 2 times during a game, but we score 3, is that just as good as the, Lily special of the old 1-0?
Yeah. Robbie, one of the things we were actually, not you and I, but we were talking about in the group during the game, is that it feels like there were moments in this one in particular where you could start to see some of that stuff clicking. Like you had mentioned how, this is only the second game. There's a lot of stuff you guys are working on, but there were moments where you could almost have that light bulb and go, oh, okay, this is where we are headed. And it feels like some of those errors that we've seen in the back are just that. They're errors that will likely be cleaned up. In your mind, how far along that progression do you think we are in terms of actually implementing what it is that we're trying to do? Are we still 50% of the way there? Do you think we're 60, 70% of the way there? Or are we still in the infancy of trying to learn this system and really trying to make it click?
I would say we're further along than maybe even some of us realize. In a lot of ways, there still wasn't that much change from what we've done in the past. I think that should be probably the first thing. I think when you talk about like mistakes, there's obviously, soccer is a very, very mistake-heavy, mistake-prone game. You're making a lot of tiny little errors like throughout 90 minutes. It's not like other sports in the way that you go out and you attempt to play in a 100% game. In fact, I think if you are playing that way, sometimes that's a disservice. So it's a lot about trade-offs and finding balance in the way that you're playing, and that's both on an individual and collective level. And you know, like the first goal that we conceded yesterday for me is much less concerning than the second one, because the second one kind of got carved up a little bit. The first one is a guy in B who hasn't put a foot wrong in his entire time as a Hound thus far, and it was just like kind of a weird moment that he found himself in, and like he recognizes that more than anyone, right? So I think for me it's more about like the smaller errors in different parts of the game that we need to clean up a little bit. And as we are trying to become a more ball dominant, more fluid team that requires creativity, but you need to kind of put a cap on that, because if you're kind of just freewheeling a little bit too much, then again you're going to make some errors in bad areas. And so it's just finding that balance in my mind.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Mm-hmm. Steve, do you have any other takeaways from this one?
I mean, two big things for me watching this game. This for me was classic Chico, putting pressure on defenders, getting in the box. It was great to see him score, even though it was only a penalty. But the way that he played is, I think, everything that we're hoping for this season. Those goals will come.
I was imagining Rhode Island fans going, "What the hell?" Like,
yeah.
Because yeah, it was classic Chico. Yeah.
Yeah. The other one, and I mean, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this, Robbie, is I still feel like, okay, we've got so many great pieces in the midfield, but some pieces that kind of look like they are some of the roles and positions that some of the guys that have been around for a long time have traditionally held down, right? Like, Robbie, we expect to see you in, right? Like, we expect to see Danny in, but maybe in some different roles and some different things. And so I think this was a game where I'm still trying to figure out, like, who's going where in that midfield and who's actually even on the field at some points, right? Because when everybody's healthy, right, it's going to be like, I don't envy Rob. He's got hard decisions to make. But in that, though, like, also like a sense of like, oh, there are so many different combinations and options that I'm looking forward to see how this happens throughout the season.
Yeah, I mean, that's a high class problem for any team. And I think the way that the roster was constructed, there is a ton of depth, particularly in that midfield, as you alluded to, Steve. So again, good problem to have, even with some injuries, like with myself and Elliot's been out a little bit now. They've still had difficult decisions to make, and that's going to make us better over the course of the season. Having all those options, flexibility in terms of you have a lot of guys who can go both ways in those midfield roles, and just a ton of talent. So I think these are all good things, all positive things. I think it'll enable us to have some rotation and hopefully keep guys fresh throughout the year. And ultimately we'll have to find kind of what formula works best for us, but it's not a bad thing when you have competition for roles. And yeah, like you said, like for myself and Danny, like it can't continue forever, but I'm obviously going to work my hardest, and I want to be on the field as much as possible. And yeah, I'm happy to be in whatever role is required of me.
Come on, Robbie. By the time you're our age, we still want you there. That's what your goal for yourself to be.
Maybe not my age, but yeah.
Robbie, you mentioned the depth, and now I'm just curious. We talked about this a few weeks ago on the show. One of the trade-offs of the depth is that you guys do have the ability to have a deeper team when it comes to a number of these other competitions. So we're going to talk about the Open Cup game this weekend, or this upcoming week. There's the whole Printex Tires competition. There is the battle for the Players Shield. I'm just curious. Obviously, I've asked you the question before: Players Shield or championship, and you said championship. We obviously won a championship. Based on the depth, if you could put all your chips into winning one other piece of hardware, whether it's the Open Cup or the Printex Tires thing or the Player Shield, which one would you prefer?
Winning the Open Cup would be unbelievable.
Oh, yeah.
Would be, I would probably, if we could win another championship, I still think that's like kind of number one.
Yeah.
Just because that's like, that's what you work for all year. So I think that's kind of like, that has to take the cake. But having done that last year, like of the other 3 remaining, I suppose like Open Cup is definitely the most prestigious tournament in this country. And we've actually, we've had some success. Like, I wouldn't say we've come close to actually winning the thing, but a few years ago, we're in the quarterfinal. We're 0-0 at halftime against Cincy. Like, it's not like that far away. So yeah, I think to imagine that we would be able to win that, like we're probably not. We're long odds, put it that way. But if I had a choice of which one to win, it would be the Open Cup.
You guys are the longest lasting championship team, I think, the past 2 years in a row. Am I wrong there?
2 out of the last 3.
2 out of the last 3. Yeah. So, I mean, we'll see what happens. But no, it would be great to go on another run there again for sure. Guys, any other kind of takeaways before we do our top 3 here?
Perrin Barnes. I was like drawing that foul. I didn't expect to see that from him. Wasn't someone I was like, oh yeah, he's going to be the one who can bring out the defender,
get into the box,
and draw that. Get in the box and draw the foul. But when it happened, I was like, sweet, that was fantastic. So yeah, I just wanted to shout him out.
Yeah, for sure.
I kind of felt throughout the day yesterday moments where I think in my initial reaction, I would have said what Laura Ellen said, but then as I thought about it a lot more, like driving back and whatnot, I don't think that this is like the history of Bob versus the presence of Rob and what we saw. I think more of what it is that you started to see it with the guys that have been on the roster for a long time, but I don't think it's that they had Bob in the back of their head. I think it's just habits and ways that they've been playing for so long because they played under Bob, right? But watching them and watching their attitudes, it didn't look like they were like second guessing themselves. It looked like, oh, like I could turn around and do something different here and I have the freedom to do that. But I kind of got the sense watching in the stands that it was more progressive rather than like thinking about the past, just habits of the past, right? Like, so I kind of would put that as an alternate way to think about it, that when you do something 1,000 times, you've got to break out of that, and you may not think about why or who drove you to that, and that's fine too.
Yeah, no, I after that game, I felt very I don't even know what the right word is, encouraged, because it felt you could definitely see, like I said, the building blocks of where this is going, and I think it's quite exciting. There were little moments where, literally we had, our entire 11 or 10 are basically in their final third. And anytime it comes out, Nico's ready to clean it back up and knock it right back in again and keep the attack going. And so
Nico's going to give you a heart attack, though. I'm telling you, man. Me and him, like, halfway down the field and kicking the ball. Like, what are your way off the line? And, like, I know it's like, he's good. That's fine. But, like, I'm just sitting there, like,
all right, let's do this. Let's pick our top 3. So, Robbie, the way that this works, and we're gonna have you pick too, because you can't pick yourself. But something I don't think I told you this. So last year, the way this works, Robbie, is we pick our top 3 and then we rank them in order. The person who comes in first gets 3 points. Person who comes in second gets 2 points. Person who comes in third gets 1 point. Last year, you won this for us. You had the most points at the end of the season, and we keep saying we owe you some kind of reward, whether it's a trophy or a banner or a shirt.
And that's why you're on the show right now.
And that is why you're on the show, right?
I guess, yeah, the pod's not specifically tied to the Steel Army, but the Steel Army gave me the trophy. So
correct.
They agreed with us. Yes.
Yeah. This is a different reward though. So here's my question for you. What do you want? Like, would you like a trophy? Would you like a banner? Is there something that you're actually gonna like hang up or put somewhere or throw in a drawer? Like, what
nothing from Mongols. Don't worry about it.
And I think what we also need to ask in this, Robbie, is do you have a trophy case yet?
No, and I was gonna say, like, I would actually I would love something, and I would keep something. Right now, we do not have like I see behind you guys, Steve and Josh. Well, all 3 of you. You've got like cool memorabilia. I don't have a room like that right now, so I look forward to the day that I do. But right now everything's sort of like in baby mode. So, yeah, I will keep whatever you give me, and I will someday it will find its way onto the wall.
You mean you don't have your bobblehead up on the mantle right now?
The bobblehead is somewhere like on my wife's desk, I think, upstairs. That one had to be out. Yeah.
Yes, I would assume so.
Yeah. All right. Well, thinking about you and thinking about the guys, let's say that you don't win it this year. My hope is that you do win it this year. But let's say you don't win it. What would be something good to give to one of the other guys? Like, I was thinking even like, those banners that you see like in the Champions League, Premier League, like the guys exchange in midfield before the game starts, something different. You can also think about it, and you can get back.
I might have to get back to you on it, but my first thought goes like, this is a podcast. It's a fun podcast. Like, you guys enjoy being on it. Like, some sort of like a gag gift would be good.
Okay.
That like sometimes those are the most memorable things.
Yeah.
All right.
A Mount Rushmore of the Mongols cruise faces.
Yeah, there you go. Something like that.
No, thank you.
Yeah. We'll come
one
up
of
with
one.
We'll come up with something else. All right, so Robbie, let's have you throw out a name. Who do you think warrants being in the top 3 for the Hounds from yesterday?
I feel like I'm probably stealing thunder here, but Charles All was brilliant yesterday. I talked to him after the game. I think he was in a bit of like a flow state as a midfielder and someone who plays kind of a similar position to him that you're watching, and like you can see when people are a step ahead and the game slows down for them, and I could see that he was in that, so it was very easy for him. He crossed the ball in that Chico ended up hitting the post. I don't think he ended up having much to show for it on the score sheet, but I think he was the most influential player on the field for us yesterday. Everything that he was doing, every time the ball was on his foot, connecting the game really well, being very creative. So I just thought it was a great performance from him, and if we can get more like that, he's gonna be having a very good year.
Love it. Josh, give me a name.
Bassett. I thought, that was a pretty great game from him. Not only getting that goal, I believe he did the corner kick as well. That led to the goal, even though it bounced around a couple before or after him. But just in general, thought he had a good game. So I think he should be in, the running there.
Steve, give me a third.
Oh man, I mean I have to go with Dikwa, but Sample, Barnes also are players that are on my mind as in the discussion. But I really loved everything I saw from Chico yesterday. Like, it's what I had hoped for years, and we have missed for the past 2 seasons.
Yeah. All right. So then based on Robbie's compelling submittal, I'm gonna throw out All as the top. I will put my thumb on the scale and say Chico at 2 and Bassett at 3. Does anyone disagree with that order?
I mean, would you disagree with Bassett in general? Like, I don't know. Steve, can you make an argument for Barnes or for Sample over Bassett?
For me, it was actually going back and forth between Charles and Brad in the top 3, with Sam and Chico definitely in for me.
Okay.
But I think it's that close that, like, yeah.
You guys we're picking all midfielders here. You got 3 midfielders in the mix, and you're forgetting about your captain. Like, you guys just take old guys for granted now on this show?
I mean, yeah, you won last year. Calm down.
All right.
I'm not calling you an old guy, but
listen, I don't know if you know this, but we had Luke Biasi on last season, and now this rings in the back of our head all the time, where we used to do player ratings after every game, and he called us out. He was like, come on, like, that's a little low. Like, you guys aren't actually seeing what I'm doing here. And so that's always in the back of our mind when we're thinking about you or Danny, or like, yeah, it's okay.
It was you could lump the midfield into like kind of one collective group and then choose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so Robbie,
no, that's gonna ruin it.
What's the top 3 order then? You pick. You're the guest. What's our top 3? In order.
All right, I'll go like between those 3. I would go All, Sam, Bassett, Chico.
Okay.
Only reason Chico scored a pen, so he would understand. He would understand more.
You're not going to go into practice tomorrow, and everyone's going to be ticked, right?
No. Sam's goal really was brilliant. It was a fantastic team goal. like that's exactly what we're looking for. And if we're scoring more goals like that this year, it's very good.
Agreed. Okay,
Nice.
so there we go. We got 3 points. Bassett has 2. Chico has 1. I had a board up last year. I need to hang it somewhere, and we'll keep track. And I don't think no, Bassett was on the list last week. So
I think the only repeat from last week is Bassett.
Yeah, so we got some diversity, which is good. Okay, let's do Mondo's moment, and then we'll move on from there.
It's time for Mondo's moment, the top moment of the game from the Mondalorian.
This week's Riverhounds match against Loudoun United comes with a pair of Mondo moments. The first comes in the first minute of every match across the league this week, as once more the players stood in solidarity with one another. This is the way. Next up, we have to look shortly after restart of the second half, as from across, Albert Chico Dikwa heads the ball to the head of Brad Sample, who nods in the Hounds' go-ahead goal. This allows them to never look back and bring home the 3 points. This is the way.
This has been Mondo's moment. Go Hounds.
So, Robbie, he mentioned there the moment of solidarity. I don't know if that's actually what we're calling it or not, but obviously we've talked. You are part of the group that's doing the bargaining for the USLPA. The minute of solidarity, or whatever we're calling it, seems to be effective. Everybody seems to be partaking in it. What are your thoughts on sort of the reception to that approach?
I think the reception has been great. It's been picked up, I think, in a lot of media outlets, ESPN, Front Office Sports, Goal.com. So I think we've been happy with kind of the broader reception of what's going on in the league, and then locally as well. Within, I think a lot of clubs have reported just the supporters groups and the support that we're getting from all of our fans and communities has been unbelievable. So yeah, in terms of the reception, it's been really good so far.
Did you ever think that, I'm not sure, what did you go to college for?
I studied business administration.
Okay. So I was going to say, did you ever think that, you'd be a player and then having to deal with sort of these negotiations with kind of the weight of the rest of the players on your shoulders?
Yeah, that's a really good question. No, I don't think I did. Although I've been involved with the Players Association since my second season now. Joe Greenspan was the rep in 2019 here, and he was leaving the club, and he sort of tapped me to be the team rep for the following season. And there was a whole lot going on that year with COVID. That was like a full-time job, being a team rep that year for a while. And ultimately, for me personally, what it came down to was when I first came into the league, I didn't really necessarily see this as a viable long-term career for myself. And I really kind of had it set in my mind I'd play a year or two and maybe hang it up at that point. And I just feel so fortunate to have had the career that I've had, the length of time that it's been now. This is my 8th season, and there's a lot to be said about the Players Association, the relationship that the PA has built with the clubs in the league in the last 8 years, and what that's done for the growth of it. And I have been a beneficiary of that. So for me to have the opportunity to give back in that way and serve my fellow players has been a real honor.
We've had some conversations about the situation as it's sort of unfolding and some of the stuff that you guys are kind of wrestling with and dealing with. What is the best way for fans to support the players as you guys are going through this?
I think we saw it yesterday. I think we saw an example of it. It's using the voice that you guys have. Ultimately, soccer is a game. It's played by the players, but it's meant for the fans. And I think because of that, all around the world, when communities of fans speak up about something, they're listened to, particularly by their specific club. And so to have, groups of fans from around the league all rallying around what the players were doing yesterday is extremely powerful. And I think a lot of people will begin to listen.
Are you encouraged at all as conversations continue, or do you feel that the battle is still to be fought here?
I think the battle is still ongoing, and obviously we're doing our best to kind of put our story out there and make our voice heard in the public square, so to speak. And that's kind of the point that we've gotten to after 500 plus days of bargaining, over 47 sessions now. It's been a real grind for everyone who's been involved in it, and that touches a lot of different people. So I think obviously I think both sides hope that we're in the home stretch here, but from the players' perspective, we're after a fair deal, and I think we're willing to do whatever it takes to get to that point.
I don't know how much of this you can disclose, but I'm curious. You just mentioned a whole bunch of sessions that are obviously touching a ton of people. Like, when you guys have these conversations, obviously you're involved. Can you share like how many other people from the USLPA are involved, or is it just one person representing the league, or is there multiple? Like I said, if you can't share anything, that's fine. I'm just curious.
I probably won't go too far into detail, but there's player representation on our side. And all told, there's upwards of, I think, 20 people on any given bargaining session. So there are a number of voices in the room in any given bargaining session.
Okay. These are usually like weekly, or are they like multiple days in a week, or is it usually like every Wednesday we do this and then don't talk for a week and then go back?
It's varied a little bit throughout the bargaining cycle. I think we started off a little bit, our cadence was a little bit less frequent, and obviously we've recognized on both sides the urgency of it as we concluded 2025 and into this year. So there's times where it's more frequent, even sometimes multiple times a week, but it kind of varies. And obviously there's a lot of different scheduling considerations, especially on the player end with games and whatnot. So that's all factored in.
Yeah. I give you all the credit in the world, because I know that just being a player in the middle of a season is kind of taxing enough, but to have this on your shoulders as well and being able to juggle all of that, plus, a new young one at home, like you got a lot going on, man. So kudos to you. I mentioned to you that, as you guys go through this, we're all kind of in your corner. We all want, what's fair for the players. And so if there is anything that we can continue to do, then by all means, just say so. But we're going to show up for you guys for sure.
Yeah. No, I appreciate that. I mean, I've said it to my guys, I've said it to other players around the league. Like, it really has been an honor to serve in this way. And when it comes down to it, I think not just from my perspective, but the other guys who are part of the bargaining committee with me and throughout the Players Association, everybody feels we're doing this because we care about this league. We care about it succeeding going forward in the future. We care about sustainability. We care about legitimacy of this league and it being perceived well within the U.S. soccer pyramid. And there are so many stakeholders throughout U.S. soccer in this. Massive communities of fans, guys like yourselves, who really care about this. You care about not just the players, but the clubs and the welfare of everyone who's involved. And so from our perspective, that's really what we're trying to move forward with here, is we're trying to make this a more sustainable career for the guys who are coming into the league. And I talked about my own situation, but there's a number of people who have left the USL over the years for just other industries, other jobs, because it wasn't financially viable for them. And in that sense, I feel lucky, but there are still people coming into the league every year who are having to make that difficult choice. And I think long-term, we need to move past that as a league. You guys can attest to it. You come to a game down at Highmark on a Saturday night, that feels legitimate, but we need to get to a point where the experience of the players on the back end is matched with the experience that people are having in the stadium on Saturday nights, because the league really has gotten to a legitimate place, but I think the players' experience has lagged behind.
Yeah. Well said.
I have lots of thoughts on everything you just said, Robbie, but I really appreciate you sharing and your candor in that. Obviously, I mean, I think you felt the support that we've offered, But I guess what I want to say to you, and I want to say to anybody that's listening, right? Like, we're fans of the Hounds because of the relationships that we have with you guys, right? We're fans because we have the relationships with each other, that it's a community environment, right? Like, I think of the old Seinfeld opening where he's talking about sports teams, and he's like, you don't root for players, you root for laundry. And when those players leave, you're still rooting for the same laundry, right? Like, that's not the case for a lot of us because we get to know you guys, right? Like, you kind of gave us a little bit of a hard time earlier about not picking Danny, right? Like, not picking the old guys. But that's part of it, right? Like, we've seen you and Danny in particular, who have been here for so long. You guys grow up into the guys that you are today from right out of college. And so, I just want to say, like, know that we stand behind you, and we're going to continue to be there. We're going to continue to chant. We're going to continue to have signs up because we love you guys.
Yeah.
Appreciate that, Steve, very much.
Agreed. All right, guys, let's move on here just for a minute. I know we want to talk about the 2 upcoming games before we get out of here. So first up, obviously, we just talked about the Open Cup and how great it would be to win it. Our first crack at it is going to be Tuesday night at Highmark Stadium. It appears to be close to a sellout, which I had kind of joked, is it going to be a sellout? And everyone was like, it's a Tuesday night. We're not even going to have the home opener. There's no way. It looks pretty close. Robbie, are you guys, obviously the Riveters had a bit of a rivalry with Steel City last season because you got 2 teams in the same city. Are you guys prepared for the Steel City fans to kind of show up in force and bring it to Highmark on Tuesday night?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely expect that. I think I have some familiarity with some of the people who run the club over there. My brother also represented them in the Open Cup 2 years ago. He won't be playing this year, but so kind of familiar with the operation. I think they'll have a very good turnout. A lot of people are kind of behind that club and want to support them, especially in this game. So expecting definitely a good turnout, even despite what the weather appears to be throwing our way.
Yeah. Talk so I mean, you grew up in the area. At the time, was the Riverhounds Academy a thing? Like, I know you spent a little bit of time, but was it really a thing at that point?
It was fledgling at that point. I actually, believe it or not, I scored the first goal in Riverhounds Academy history.
Look at you.
Pedigree.
and a little bit more lore for you. It was in Rochester, actually.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Against Bob. I'm joking.
Bob was playing defense.
At the time, it was really like kind of coming into its own. A lot of it was like training based. So you'd kind of come to the Riverhounds Academy for technical sessions, and they weren't really fully forming teams right off the bat. And then we did some tournament play like later on. But at that point, it wasn't anything close to what it is now.
Yeah. And so, I mean, I think what's fun is to see now you have the Hounds, you have Steel City that, I know it's under a number of different names over the past, but now seems to have all consolidated under Steel City. But to see that program growing, to have a W team, to have a USL2 team, did you ever think that you come from a city that has multiple teams that are playing in the Open Cup or the W, or has aspirations of being in the USL Premier? It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, it is. Especially I think where things were during kind of my youth days, and where this program was, and Steel City wasn't even a thing at that point. So no, I wouldn't say that I imagined it, but this is part of again, you kind of go back to the broader landscape within US soccer. This is part of the growth, part of the development is these kinds of situations where you can actually have 2 teams from the same city facing off against each other in kind of the premier tournament that our country has to offer. So it's just really a good thing for everyone involved. And kind of no matter what happens on Tuesday, I think it will be a good outcome for the city and the soccer community in general. Of course. I was gonna say we're gonna win, right? But, I'm just stepping back for a second, seeing the bigger picture, and then Tuesday I'll zone in again. So, but yeah, no, it really is. It's a great thing, and I think that will be on display. I think it'll be on display on Tuesday. Is you'll see what soccer has become in Pittsburgh, which for a long, long time has been a total afterthought. And now it is growing into something, I think, more than that.
Yeah. So you guys will have the game on Tuesday that you win. I'm just going to throw that out there. Then you guys head to Al Lang on Saturday at 7:30 p.m. Do you like going to Tampa?
It was always a hard place to play. I played a game there 2 years ago that I think is probably the most difficult game I've ever played in. Just like physically, just really difficult. And they've got a really good squad this year, but it's a great venue at Al Lang, beautiful pitch. Yeah, lots of things to be happy about. So always look forward to going down there and playing, but it is a tough place to play.
Do you guys get any downtime when you're down there? Like, is there like a restaurant you guys like to go to or anything like that? Or is it all business?
We're not hanging out on the beach in Tampa.
Yeah.
I wish. Yeah, it's usually pretty in and out. Although, a couple of years ago, we won the Players Shield down there and we had a wonderful time that evening. So, yeah, that was good memories for sure from St. Pete.
Yeah.
So you go a team like Tampa, I think there are a few other teams in the league where significant number of guys that not only you have played with throughout your career, but that were Hounds, right? There's a few guys down there. What's that like for you guys to see some of your old friends and former teammates that are now all congregating elsewhere when you travel?
Yeah, at this point, when you've been around, I think, as long as I have, and you've had so many good players come through here, it's pretty much every game that you're playing that someone that used to be on your team. And I think the three that are coming to mind, if I'm missing any, it's Russ, Jamali, and Nate are down in Tampa now. Just all three brilliant players, great people, had a ton of success here, each of them in their own right. So it's always respect. And I think, honestly, it probably used to give me a little bit more anxiety. This is my former teammate. You want to show well and all of that. Now it's just is a joy, honestly, to still be competing and to see these guys who you respect so much as teammates and who you love from your days in the locker room with them and having the ability to compete against them. And that's kind of how I approach it now.
Cool.
All of those niceties aside, Robbie, give us a score prediction. How do you think things play out in Tampa?
I think we'll go 2-1 Hounds down in Tampa. Yeah, I think we'll continue our goal scoring form early in the year, maybe tighten it up a little bit at the back. They're, like I said, they're a good squad, though. It'll be a really good challenge. I think they're a team that's looking to really turn a page this year, obviously, from what they did last year, and I think they'll compete well in the East this year.
Josh?
Yeah, I think 2-1 sounds good.
Do you guys ever predict losses?
I do.
Oh yeah,
sometimes.
we have.
Last year I did a couple losses. That's for sure. I was feeling pretty down near the end.
Last year was rough. Yeah, at times, Robbie. Yeah.
Will we this year? Who knows?
Yeah.
So right now, high.
I'm not going to do that, obviously. So.
Robbie, we had a thing where we tried to predict when Rob would get his first loss as a coach, and I said he was going to go all season and not get it. So we're very unrealistic at times here for sure.
Yeah.
I thought you meant last year you did that because that was a correct prediction last year.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Steve, score prediction.
So, I guess I have a question for you, Mike. Can I go back and change some of my answers from the preseason roundup? Okay, then I've got to say 2-0 because I need some shutouts. Otherwise, we're going to give up more than 1 goal per game if I keep predicting the Hounds give up goals in these predictions. 2-0.
2-0. Okay. I'll say I'll go 2-1 as well. It feels like I agree. I think that I'd like to see us tighten things up and let in none, obviously, but it feels like it's still a progression. I think if we're 2 or 3 games from now, like when we get to the Jacksonville game at home next week, then I think I'm going to be predicting a shutout. I take another step, a little bit more communication, tighten things up. But I'll say 2-1 in Tampa. So
is that 1 goal coming from Cicerone?
I really hope not. Robbie, does it sting any worse if it's a former player that scores against you guys?
Yeah, Sean, like the other day, was just like, you got to be kidding me. Yeah.
Yep.
That hurt. That definitely hurt. And it does. I think it does. And Russ obviously is a prolific goal scorer in this league, so he's as likely as anyone.
Yeah. Okay, so that is what we think. Let us know what you think. As I mentioned, we are only 2 weeks away from the home opener and Sporting Jacksonville. All Hounds Eve is scheduled for the day before, which is Friday, March 27th at the Pitch. As a reminder, if you did get a Hounds tattoo in the offseason, then there is a drink on me out of it. Robbie, did you get a tattoo to celebrate the victory?
No, but I'll have one by Saturday. So
drink.
Well, there you go. Robbie's going to have one by Saturday. So
I did have the joy of seeing Steve's though as well.
Yeah. Oh, you did see Steve's? Okay.
I saw Steve's.
It looks really good. Yeah.
I'll have to show you mine at some point.
Yeah.
Maybe we can show up at the Pitch. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Robbie, I always say we want to be respectful of your time, but we did take an hour of your time. But we're really happy that you were able to join us. All of the best, obviously, with everything with the USLPA. Glad to see that you got some minutes this week. Hopefully that continues to progress. We're really happy that you're here, not just for Hounds fans, but for the players and. Yeah, man. Best of luck here this week. Hopefully we get 2 big W's and get ready for that home opener.
Awesome. Thanks, guys, so much. Appreciate you.
Yeah. Thanks, everybody. We will be back with more Hounds content for you very, very soon.
Later.
See ya.